Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, May 3rd. It's a beautiful weekend. Like I told you guys on Friday was going to be. I was right with the weather, thank God. So I spent a lot of time yesterday outside mulching, and I have a lot more to do today, but I'm looking forward to it. It's good to get out. So I am going, before I get outside, I want to put a little pot of sauce on the stove because it's Sunday and I need it. So let's look at what I have. I'm not doing meatballs or sausage or anything like that. I'm going to do a little bit differently. So I have two types of meat. All right. I have we have some short rib, some beef short rib over here, and then these two pieces are some lamb chops on the bone. I took them out. I left them out so they get to room temperature. So I'm going to put my pot on. It's not going to be a lot. It's only for 2.5 of us. I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan. Maybe a little bit more. With this, you want to do some extra virgin olive oil. Mix it around, mix it around. Let's get it hot. Now, for the meat, before I brown my meat, whenever I make a sauce, I like to do salt and pepper. All right, so we're just going to we're going to season it first, just to get it in there. I'm going to open the window to get some fresh air in the house. All right. Let's do some pepper. Let me just wash my hands. Look at Mr. Mazzini grinding pepper. Wow, fancy schmancy. All right. And it's stuck. Now there we go. Oops. All right, we'll just do it like this, make it easier. It's okay to make a mess, everyone. You can always clean it up. All right, so I'm just gonna rub everything into it. Nice. Yes, it's okay. I know it's raw meat, but don't worry, we'll wash our hands. It's nice, starting to get hot. I'm gonna wash my hands now. I really hope everyone's outside today. Hello. I hope everyone's outside today and yesterday and they enjoyed the beautiful weather. We did a lot of gardening yesterday and it was just gorgeous. It was a perfect day to be out. Lily was outside playing, having fun. All right, so I'm going to put these in here. This is getting hot. Ah, beautiful. And all you want to do is, you want to get the meat nice and brown. Here, I'm going to show you what it looks like in there. All right. Just going to sprinkle a little more salt on it. It's okay if your meat starts to stick to the pan. Just take your tongs, whatever tool you're using, and I like to move it around continuously. Sometimes people get worried when there's stuff stuck at the bottom of the pan from the meat. Once you put the tomato in, it's going to bring it up off the bottom of the pan, and the flavor that's going to come out of it is amazing. Now, what are the other ingredients we need? A small onion, and again, I cut it in half. I don't put a lot in. Fresh basil, if you have it. Unfortunately, I went to my refrigerator. This is all I have, and it's ugly. So this is going in the garbage. I threw the basil out, but remember, the plastic, we recycle. I'm going to keep my salt and pepper out. This is, you don't want to see me. Let's see, we've only been, see, it's already starting to brown a little bit, but we're going to let it get much browner. And you're going to have to flip your meat to all sides. These pieces of meat are thick, so you want to make sure that they brown well. Because when you put the tomatoes in, you're going to cook it for the rest of the time. but it's, because they're thick, they're not going to cook completely, so you have to let it brown for a good amount of time. So I'm going to chop up my onion. I forgot which way it is. So when we cut off the edge, cut off the other end, and peel it. Again, boys and girls, you should have someone next to you. If you're not using, you can always watch someone using a knife. I know, Teo, this is very easy for you. You're natural to this. A lot of our students do like to cook, and I think that's wonderful. It's a perfect time to learn these skills. I'm going to get another cutting board because this one had meat on it. I have a lot of energy this morning. I don't drink caffeine, and I made myself a cappuccino this morning. I don't know what's going to happen today. I think I might pull out every shrub and replant it just for fun because I have so much energy. All right, so here we go. I'm going to slice it up very thin. This is going to go in after the meat is all brown. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, ooh, nicely. Look how nice and brown that is, all right? So I'm just going to turn these over. I'm going to put the fan on. Cut it up this way. And a lot of people have like special way, people, when I say like chefs and people who do this professionally, of cutting onions. Just cut the onion. Let's not get crazy here. I like to turn it around and make it a little bit easier. You know what? I'm not even going to use all this, to be quite honest with you. I use a very tiny cutting board, but you could also just put it, if you have a small food processor, you can put it in there. Now, when making a sauce, a lot of people like to put the sofrito, which is the onion, the carrot, and celery. My friend Isabel told me, and I like what she said, when she does it with meat, the meat gives it so much flavor. My eyes are burning from those onions. The meat gives so much flavor, but I do like to put a little bit of onion into it, just to give that a little bit more taste. Let's see how this is doing. It's browning up very nicely. Hold on, I'll bring the camera. Let me wash my hands and My wife made her own baba ganoush yesterday. It was delicious. Very easy. You need eggplant, lemon, tahini, a little garlic. I forget what else is in it. Okay. So let's look at the meat. It's coming along very, very nicely. Continue browning. Now, for the tomatoes, like I told you before, again, the brand doesn't matter so much. So Mrs. Rome had emailed me, and Ms. Rome, I think I emailed you a picture of San Marzano. This is Cento. Either one is fine. But you see passata? Passata means it's passed through. So they take the tomatoes and they keep passing it through to get it down to a very nice puree. You can get it, this is traditional. You can get it where it's seasoned, it has this, it has that. I don't do that. I like to season it myself because then you season it how you want it to be. You can buy, there are the jarred sauce that, like I said, it's like this, but it has basil or it says Italian seasoning. You know what? It's just not as good. There's nothing like doing it yourself. So this is what I'm going to use, but I may need a little bit more than this because these are bigger pieces of meat than I thought. So I'm going to continue browning these and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So here's our meat. Okay, I put a little onion and a little reduction. We're going to open up our jar. Just pour it. Sorry. Just pour that right on in. Now, look at this jar. This is what I want everyone to realize. There's still a lot more in here. Put water in it. it's fine. You're gonna get more taste. And the water's just gonna add more liquid. Put the cap on. Give it a really hard shake. You wanna see how nice and clean now the glass is? You have to get all the tomato off of it. You just put it right back into your pot. And what do we do with this? We recycle. And now, for the staple that everyone needs to make a good sauce. A wooden spoon. I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to show it to you in 1 second. Now that the tomatoes are in there, you want to add some more salt, some more pepper. Give it another good stir so you equally distribute all your spices. You know, and again, talking about spices, if I had nice, clean, fresh basil, I'd put it in there. You don't have to start putting oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, all this. The meat itself will give it such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flavor. So I'm gonna lower this heat. And I'm going to put a top on. There it is. Put the top on it. Just leave it open with a little gap. That's it. That's it. And you can use any meat. The more different types of meat you have, the more flavorful it is. So, you know, that's why, like, sometimes I'll do pieces of, and when I do this, they're all on a bone, but pieces of pork, pieces of a couple of pieces of pork, a few pieces, depends on how many people you have. A few pieces of lamb, and then I'll do the meatballs separately, and I'll put some sausage in there too. And the flavor is just outstanding. Now, of course, you have to use a couple more jars of tomatoes. If you do need more tomatoes, more sauce, and you have a can, see, it just says tomato sauce, you could just add that in there. Again, it has zero seasoning, so it's how you season it. But again, I know it's just my wife and I and the baby, so we don't need more than that. And that's it. So we'll be back once this is done. I'm gonna let it simmer for probably, let's see, it's 11:15. I'm gonna let it simmer for about 2 to 3 hours because it's that, I want the beef to almost fall off the bone. And I know it seems like I'm cooking, you know, something that's big for early in the morning, but you know, growing up Sunday mornings, there was a pot of sauce just cooking at a very low flame, and this is what I love to do on a Sunday morning, just get it going, and then I can go and do something else. But it's at a very low flame, and we'll let it sit. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, hi everyone, we're back. Our sauce is done. I actually turned it off for a while, so here's a little peek. Woo! Sorry. Here's a little peek. All right, the meat is perfect. Tastes yummy. Now, I'm gonna do something different. This is the first time I've done it. By the way, I know I look a little bit different from the first part of this video. That's because my father came over today with my mom, and we sat outside, and he gave me a haircut. So I'm happy. I feel normal again. My friend sent me this video from YouTube, so I decided I wanted to show it to you. I've never done it, so this may turn out to be an epic disaster, but we'll find out. I made cauliflower gnocchi. Okay, so you take about 5 cups of cauliflower, steam it. I then took it out. I just let it cool a little bit. You maybe a little more than a little bit, I learned. And you learn as you go along, right? Boys and girls, we always say it's good to make mistakes. You then have to put it into a cloth. I put it into a big dish towel. If you have a cheesecloth, that's better. You put that over a bowl, and you tie the top tight, and you just strain it like this, and all that water comes out of the cauliflower. And you have to do it till pretty much there's no more water coming out. To be honest with you, I had to put gloves on because the water that was coming out was boiling hot. So I then put it in my food processor. Okay, as you see, it's brandy looking new. Why? Well, it's 6 years old and never used it. So I'm having a lot of fun. All right, so I press the dough button, and you put, so it's the cauliflower, it's steamed, it's going in whole. I did about 1.5 cups of flour, a tablespoon of olive oil, and a teaspoon of salt. And that's it. And listen, when you're doing gnocchi, you do not knead it like you do bread or focaccia or pizza dough. You don't put any yeast into it. It doesn't need to rise. Let's see where this goes. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. So my dough in here. It's very sticky, so I definitely left myself some extra flour. If you need more, that's fine. I think I should put a little bit more flour in the mix itself, but that's okay. I clean as I go. I'm not actually going to clean the food processor. I'm just putting some soapy water into it. Okay. Yeah, this definitely needs a lot more flour. Move that aside. It's going to get messy. It's going to get messy. All right. So you just want to make it so it's a nice round ball, but I'm just working it so it's not too sticky, right? And that's why I put a lot of flour on my board. Now, normally with gnocchi, you do it with potatoes, you boil it, and then you peel it, excuse me, sort of the same thing. And then you need a ricer to put it through the ricer. Then you add, same thing, flour, and usually you would do an egg with some salt. And then from that point, the process is the same as here. I'm just gonna give a little more flour. All right, that's it. So, just going to try to get this into a nice ball. Perfect. I'm going to cut this into 4s. Why am I doing that? It's easier to work with. And if you feel that you have enough, you don't have to cut. You can actually wrap it up very, very tight and freeze it. So again, a little flour. Now we're going to start rolling this out. All right. And as you see, I'm breaking apart the. There's a humongous fly flying around my kitchen, and he's bothering me. Okay. As you see, I'm cutting up. I'm rolling it out, then taking the pieces and making a little bit smaller. That's a little bit too small. And then we're actually going to start cutting our gnocchi. A well-floured board you definitely need. Let me get another knife. And maybe I'll do a little bit thicker. I've never done this, so figure we could all have a little fun together. It's fun to try new things and make mistakes because that's how we learn. And I'm just going to take a knife. I'm going to cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, and cut it. And this piece I'm going to put back in there. So it's pretty cool, right? We sort of made our own gnocchi. Now, what you're going to do is take a fork. I'm just going to kind of roll it on through. And you have little grooves. I've never done this before, so I'm just having fun with it. It's still a little bit sticky, so I'm just going to put a little more extra flour on it. So the rest of this is definitely going to need some more flour. So we're just going to roll it through again. There we go. It's not going to be even all sides, but that's fine. As you see, I'm playing around, so I've never done it, but All right. Right. And you don't have to do the grooves in the fork, to be quite honest with you. Some people don't. But it does absorb the water and thus the sauce, once it's done, a little bit better. Come on, let's go. Come on. Cut, 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 cut. Okay. See if I use this side, if it's any different. It's a good piece. Makes it a little bit easier just to roll it. They're very messy gnocchi, but I don't care. I'm definitely going to have dough left over, and that's fine, guys. Like I said, you could wrap it up really tight in saran wrap, and then you could just freeze it. Put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it for another day. And you could have, and you know, this is definitely, you can use gluten-free flour. You can use, you know, like I said, I use the cauliflower just to lessen the carb count on it. So it's a little bit healthier. You know, I also wanted to talk about sauce, right? So some of us do not eat meat, and that's fine. We're all, you know, we all have different diets. If you don't, take an eggplant if you want something different. Cube it, cut it into cubes. Mix some olive oil and salt with it. Ooh, I lost the gnocchi. There we go. Mix some olive oil and salt and bake it in the oven. You're going to roast it. Not that long. I would move it around so it doesn't stick to the pan. And then in the meantime, on your stove, you should have a pot of marinara sauce. And once the eggplant, and salt it well. Once the eggplant is done, you put it into the marinara sauce and let it finish cooking there. And it's delicious. I made it one night. And then you know, you could add some pasta water once the pasta's boiling into the sauce to, you know, just add a little more liquid to it. Don't use thick pasta with something like that. You want to use a thinner pasta. There's a lot of different types that you could find, you know, that aren't just your penne or something like that. And the cheese that goes very well with it, it's called ricotta salata. So it's a harder type of ricotta. As you know, ricotta cheese we find in ravioli, you know, lasagna, things like that, or eggplant rolantini, and you don't have to do it like that. It's a much harder cheese, like I said, and once you mix the pasta with it, grate that cheese on top, and it's outstanding. I made it one night. We had some friends over, and they loved it, so I was pleased. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'll be back once I put them in the water. Okay, everyone, we're back. I have some boiling hot water. I'm going to put plenty of salt into it. And then I'm going to take my gnocchi. I'm going to put it in there. Now, remember, anything that's a fresh type of pasta, it cooks very, very quickly. With gnocchi, once it rises to the top of the water, you know it's done. So I'm just trying to spread them out as much as I can. So when I bring them over on my plate, I could just put them all in together so I'm not cooking at different... So I use actually 3/4 dough. So by the way, the recipe is again 5 cups of cauliflower. Steam it, put it in the food processor with 1 and 3/4 cup of flour. I use too little flour, so we'll see what happens. And there we go. don't want to move it around too much. They're nice and separated. Like I said, once they rise, you know that they're done. Again, boys and girls, Mr. Mazzini's never done this before. It's like when you learn something new, a new math skill, a new reading skill, a new writing skill, something new in science or social studies or health or phys ed, art, tech, Spanish, library, music. I think I covered everything. I'm going to find out whether or not this tastes good, to be quite honest with you. So we shall see. So I have my sauce. It smells yummy. So what I'm going to do is, just to make my sauce just add a little bit more liquid, I am going to add the pasta water, the cauliflower pasta water, to it. I'm going to use around 1 ladle. But I'm going to wait until they're boiling, so then I know that the water has the full taste of it. All right, so we'll be right. So I'm actually back quicker than I thought, because look, they're already rising. Looks pretty cool. I'm excited. So I'm just going to take a ladle of that pasta water. I'm going to add it into my sauce. Just give it a little bit more liquid. Just a half. Ooh, almost a gnocchi tried to get away. Get back there. Okay. Yes, I know, I could have just bought it and boiled it and been done with it. But, like I said, do something new. Alright, so these are done. So now I'm going to show you, this is a really huge bowl that I have. It's only my wife and I and the baby, but heck, hey, why not? Okay, so, get out, fly. I'm going to take these little guys out, right? So I have my spoon. Now if you have, they make these small pots and it's all grated, it's all open at the bottom, so you just go in it and scoop it out. And that's how you strain it, which is really awesome. So before I do that, I want to put some sauce at the bottom of my bowl, because you don't want it to break. I'm going to show you what I did. Sauce off. Put that there. Alright, so it's spread out nice. It smells so good. Alright, now I'm going to take my gnocchi. Ooh, I lost one. Alright. Just take the ones that are at the top. If there's more coming, that's fine. I could even see little bits of cauliflower in there. Parents, great way to add more vegetable to the kids' diet. Don't tell the kids I said that. You're watching, aren't you, kids? Alright, now I'm going to add some more sauce. This little guy tried to get away. Get back there. Alright. So they don't break up. And you don't want to take a heavy utensil and start mixing it around. It's not a regular penne or a rigatoni, which is very, very thick. You know the grated cheese was coming out. You know the grated cheese was coming out. Alright, so it starts to look like. And then we're just going to get the rest of it. There's still some more that were at the bottom, and I'm just giving them a moment to continue coming up. You're really lazy, some of these gnocchi, you know? Cleaning up tonight should be a fun time. Now, I decided to keep, you can take the meat and break it up if you want, or I could have shredded it between 2 forks, but I'm going to use it as a second course tonight. just gonna give it I'll use this one. Just a little mix. Be very, very careful. You don't want to break them. I've seen people put them on another plate with sauce and cheese and then mix it back in. And then put it on top of what was there, just so you don't have to mix it. I did it very, very lightly so I didn't damage anything. And oh, by the way, did I mention we're going to put some little grated cheese in there? I mean, why not? It's fun, it's pretty. And then, this is how I like to do things when I have people over for a Sunday meal. Right? We do different courses because it's fun. You sit at the table a little bit longer until someone decides she doesn't want to sit at the table and starts running away. So here's our meat. Here's our beef and lamb. And here is our finished product of the gnocchi. So I'm going to try it. Well, Mr. Mazzini, if I should say so myself, I'm quite impressed. Yummy. Give it a shot. It's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. The kneading is a lot. You wanna make sure the dough's not too sticky. And my dough is sticky, that's why I kept adding flour as I was rolling it out. But this is awesome. It's dinner time at the Mazzini's on a Sunday, everyone. And it's way later. I mean, it's 20 after 7 right now, but I was outside again another day doing mulching, and then we had to go take a ride to Tenafly, my wife's aunt's birthday. We did a drive-by beep. And now it's time for, oh boy, there it goes. All right, let's not pick that up. Our gnocchi, followed by our meat. Thank you again for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.